want to talk about Libya now. Rebel forces there circling the few towns still loyal to Muammar Qaddafi. The National Transitional Council says fighters have entered Wadan, south of Sirte, but the handful of holdouts are stopping transitional authorities claiming a full victory in the country. That, and of course the missing man himself, Qaddafi, released another audio tape claiming to still be inside the country. He promised his forces will defeat NATO and the rebels. Well, Guma El-Gamaty is the Libyan National Transitional Council's representative here in the UK. Please say he joins me in the studio now. Welcome. So why are negotiations then for the peaceful handover of Bani Walid, Sirte and Sabha not going anywhere? What is the hitch?
The hitch is that the freedom fighters and the NTC forces, the National Libyan Army, are very keen not to shed any more blood, not to kill any more Libyans, and to resolve the issues peacefully, and not to antagonize the local populations. Obviously, in Sirte, there are still some of Gaddafi's own tribe members. There are a few hundred loyalists, and so in Bani Walid as well, and they have guns. So we don't want any more bloodshed. I think over the last 6 months, 30,000 killed, over 50,000 injured. We don't really want any more. So we would rather resolve everything peacefully. We would like to make these people realize that they are doomed, that they are...
But I suppose the difficulty then for the NTC is that it prevents you from declaring a full victory, from making the transition to a different government, a fully functioning government, to have a situation where you can't access these key towns. And then, of course, the fact that Qaddafi himself remains at large.
Absolutely, and that's why the stalemate in these two small towns will not go on forever. I think there will come a time very soon where a line would be drawn, and either they give up their arms and they let the towns join the revolution, or they will be stormed and overrun. And it will be an easy job, because if Tripoli, which was the most challenging for the freedom fighters, was overrun literally in a couple of days or few hours, then these towns will be very easy to overrun.
And we keep hearing that Qaddafi has been cornered. Why then hasn't he been caught, if that's the case?
Because Libya is such a vast country with a lot of deserts and lots of places where he could hide. He's very familiar with those parts of the country where he's probably hiding. He comes from the desert himself, so over the last 42 years he spent a lot of time in the desert, so he knows these places very well. It's not easy. We're talking about Libya, 1.76 million square kilometers. It's a large terrain to cover, and it's not easy to catch up with him. But I can assure you that as long as he remains inside Libya, he will be caught.
Are you taking action to prevent Qaddafi loyalists from fleeing the country with state assets?
Yes, we are, and we're sending delegations to neighboring countries like Niger, and we are telling countries like Algeria and Chad to be very careful not to allow these remnants, these Gaddafi loyalists, to cross their borders or to take any of Libyan people's wealth, and make sure that if they do get into their countries, that they should be handed back, because they are wanted for war crimes.
Now, of course, oil output has been severely affected by this crisis, which has been going on, well, for most of the year at this point. A very difficult situation in Libya right now, because you are in between two regimes, two governments, and there isn't a fully functioning government in place as we speak. So how long do you think it'll be before oil output can be boosted in any real way?
The good thing is that the infrastructure, the oil industry infrastructure, has been kept intact. There hasn't been any major damages, either to the oil fields or to the pipe network or to the exporting ports. We think some refurbishment and some repair is needed. We think that will take only a few weeks. We hope that we can resume some oil export as soon as maybe 3 to 4 weeks, with possibly an initial level of about 500,000 to 600,000 barrels. And maybe within a year, we can reach the previous level of about 1.3, 1.5 million barrels a day.
And you say that you are reluctant to enter towns like Sirte, Bani Walid, because of concerns bloody battles could ensue. How worried are you at this point that you will be able to maintain some level of stability and security in the country? I don't want to make comparisons with Iraq, but we have seen how a security situation, how a very divisive political situation can effectively jeopardize the country, I should say, from meeting its economic potential, if you like.
Well, judging by what happened so far, 98% of Libya is liberated and free. 98% of the Libyan population are living peacefully now. There is social cohesion. There is no breakdown of law and order. There is no violence. There is no retribution or revenge. What is left is Bani Walid and Sirte. Combined, they have about 200,000 population. And the great majority of those populations are with the revolutions. They think of themselves as being kept hostages. We are not worried at all that there will be breakdown of law and order or violence or retribution. So,
Guma, El-Gamaty, great to talk to you, get an update, an idea of the situation in Libya as things stand right now.
Thank you.
Guma El-Gamaty, the NTC's representative here in the UK.